Hello friends and welcome at my channel. Today let's consider one further function and we're going to discuss it and plot the graph at the end. So the function is f of x equals to, well, let's write it a little bit unorthodox, 6x squared minus x to the power of 4 divided by 9. So that can be given like this. Um, we wouldn't like to work with this function written this way, so we first rearrange the terms slightly and figure out maybe there is a simpler way to write it down. So first of all, we divide it into two fractions. And now, since it's a polynomial function, we better start with the biggest power at the first place and so on. So it's minus 1 divided by 9, x to the power of 4, plus we can simplify it. This is 2/3 x squared. Okay, that seems to be slightly easier. So number one, domain x is everything, right? There are no limitations for x values. They can be whatever you want. Second point is, do we have any kind of symmetry? The answer is yes. We're dealing with symmetric function considering the y-axis. So since f of minus x would be equal to minus 1 divided by 9 minus x to the power of 4 plus 2/3 minus x squared, which means the fourth power brings it to positive values and the second power brings it to positive values as well. We are having such a value, which is the same as f of x, so that's fine. We are symmetric considering the y-axis. Okay. All right. Next point, number 3. What's happening if, well, we're considering the limit x towards infinity. Now you see, because of the symmetry considering the y-axis, we don't care about plus or minus infinity. So in both cases, it's the same outcome. And we are looking at so it was minus 1 divided by 9, x to the power of 4 plus 2/3 x squared. We're looking at the highest power, which is 4, and we have minus a ninth in front of x to the power of 4, so this is minus infinity. Very simple in both cases. Number 4, 0 points. All right, well, we are putting the whole expression equal to 0. We can just take x squared out. We would have minus 1 divided by 9 x squared plus just 2/3 equals to 0. So we have a doubled 0 point at 0, and then the parenthesis could be equal to 0 as well. So 2/3 is equal to 1 divided by 9 by x squared. We're multiplying times 9. We can simplify it. It's just x squared being equal to 6. Now we take a square root, so x3 is minus square root of 6, and x4 is plus square root of 6, which makes sense considering the symmetry as well. Okay, number 5, extreme values. So we are starting with the first derivative. This is minus 4/9 x cubed plus 4/3 x. All right, let's put it equal to 0. Minus 4/9 x cubed plus 4/3 x equal to 0. We can take x out. It's minus 4/9 x squared plus 4/3 equals to 0. So x1 is 0. You remember in our last video we said if there is a doubled 0 point, something must be going on with the derivative. And what's happening here? So we are having minus 4/9 x squared plus thirds equals to 0. Am I right? Let's check it quickly. Yeah, that seems to be fine. So let's bring it to the right-hand side. We got 4 thirds equals to 4/9 x squared. We are multiplying times 9 quarters. So 9 and 3 can be cancelled. It's 3, and 4 and 4 can be cancelled as well. So x squared equals to 3. We got x1 equals to minus square root of 3, and x2 equals to plus square root of 3. Let's consider the second derivative, which will help us to figure out which one is max and which one is min, if it's a case. So 3 is coming down. We're going to have, or let's consider this one. We can simplify it. It's 4 thirds x squared. So minus 4 thirds x squared, and just plus 4 thirds. Okay, so don't forget, I think I forgot it here. It should be x2 and 3, right? We got 0 already. All right, so what is f second derivative at 0? This is 4 thirds. It's positive, so we have a min at 0, 0. And what is f second derivative at, let's say, square root of 3? So we're having minus 4 thirds times square root of 3 squared plus 4 thirds. This is 3. We can cancel it. It's minus 4 plus 4 thirds. Let's consider only the sign. It's negative. So we're going to have a max with square root of 3 as x value. And let's figure out the y value. So what is f of square root of 3? This was, if you remember, minus 1 divided by 9 times square root of 3 to the power of 4 plus 2 thirds, if I remember it correctly, yes, x squared, which is square root of 3 squared. So square root of 3 to the power of 4 just gives me 9, minus 1 divided by it's minus 1, plus 2. That would be 1. So we got max 1 at square root of 3, 1. And there is also max 2 because of the symmetry. I don't have to compute anything. It's minus square root of 3 and also 1. So that's fine. All right, number 7 are the points of inflection. And for these purposes, we're considering the second derivative, which is minus 4 thirds x squared plus 4 thirds equals to 0. So we just can divide it by 4 thirds, right? That would be minus x squared plus 1 equals to 0. So x squared equals to 1. So x equals to plus minus 1. The third derivative helps us as well. We would have minus 8 thirds x only. And the third derivative at plus or minus 1 gives us plus or minus 8 thirds. So it's not 0 for sure. So we have points of inflections. Let's call it W1 at minus 1. What do we have if we consider f of minus 1? This is minus 1 divided by 9 times minus 1 to the power of 4 plus 2 thirds times minus 1 squared. So we have minus 1 divided by 9 plus 2 thirds, which is, if we multiply times 3, it's 6/9, right? So it's 5 divided by 9. And once again, because of the symmetry, the second point of inflection would have the same y value. All right, let's pull it all together now. What do we have? Well, what do we know? We know that we have symmetry, right? So left and right is the same. We have we're going down in both cases, and our max is at square root of 3, 1, and minus square root of 3, 1. Okay, square root of 3, 1. If that would be 1 and that would be 2, it's somewhere here. That would be -1 and that would be -2. Somewhere there. So those are two upper points. Then what else do we have? We have 0 points, of course. At 0, a double 0 point, and at plus minus square root of 6, which is roughly 2.45, something like this. So we get to go somewhere further, somewhere here, which makes sense as well. At 0, we have a min, and we have points of inflection at, I think it was 1, right? Plus or minus 1 and 5/9. So this was 1. So somewhere here. Okay, does it make sense? Well, it does. Let me switch the color. So I would say it goes like this. Then we're going to min. And then we're going down like this. So that would be the graph of f of x equals to -1 divided by 9x to the power of 4 plus 2/3 x squared. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye. All the best.